Hey everyone, Ryan here at Etrailer. Today on our 2017 Ford F-150, we're going to be showing you how to install the Curt 7-way round T-connector trailer wiring harness. But before we do that, let's check this out for a minute. So this will be a great solution for those of you whose trucks didn't come equipped from the factory with a 7-way round type connector. So if that's what type of wiring that your trailer has, this should work out real well for you. And what's really convenient about this is it just tees into the factory trailer wiring on your truck. All these trucks have a factory 4-way flat connector back here, and that harness kind of runs up under the truck a little bit, and there's a plug, right? So when you unplug that, this will plug into it, so it makes installation really easy and sends all those signals back here to your 7-way connector. And because of that design, you are still able to use the factory 4-way flat type connector as well as your 7-way. Ours is missing because our neighbor, ended up picking this truck up and someone had kind of hacked into it and damaged the ends there. He's not using a 4-way flat anyway, so he's not really concerned. I'll just tape these up out of the way. But it is something worth noting that on most of the trucks out there, if your 4-way flat is in good shape and still working, you can still use both and not have to deal with a reducer or an adapter if you happen to want to pull a trailer with that 4-way flat connection. The signals a 7-way is going to provide you with is your turn signals, your tail lights, your brake lights, your reverse lights, your 12-volt auxiliary power, and your trailer brake output if you have a trailer brake controller. Now with that said, these Fords are kind of odd. They all seem like they're set up a little bit different from the next in terms of being able to use a trailer brake controller, kind of using the factory wiring and everything. And I'm bringing this up because a lot of people are wanting to set that up. Matter of fact, today, that's what this truck is in here for. Did a hitch, did this, and we're getting ready to do that brake controller next. So, if that's what you're trying to do, this will work out for you, right? You'll have those wires and everything back here, but with that said, just because the wires are here, don't make them active. And this is in regards to your trailer brake output or trailer brake controller. So what I recommend doing is go under the hood, check in the fuse box, and look for all the trailer-related fuses, right? Particularly, there's one, it's trailer brake control, I believe. Make sure those fuses are in place, and if they are, chances are really, really good you'll be able to use this and then use the custom adapter plug that goes underneath the dash and lets you plug a trailer brake controller right into it. If those fuses are missing and there's no pins in the fuse box for you to even put a fuse in to begin with, then what you would have to do is simply build off of your existing factory 4-way flat wiring, right? So you would take your 4-way flat factory wiring. You could use the Etrailer.com universal brake controller install kit, and then your favorite trailer brake controller, and be able to still run your wires and get that trailer brake controller set up if that's what you're trying to do. Other than that, hopefully this kind of clears up any questions you might have in regards to your 7-way or trying to set up a brake controller. I know there's a lot to all that there, but I try my best to simplify it and hopefully get you going in the right direction. But ultimately, it's great. The 7-way connection back here, being able to plug right in, use what's already there from Ford, is pretty convenient, so it makes installation really straightforward. Literally unplug it, plug it in, ground one screw, and you're done. The kit does not come with a bracket to allow you to mount up the 7-way, so you will have to get this separately. I used one made by Pollock, worked out real well. So just wanted to mention that. With all that said though, why don't we go ahead, we'll get the truck raised up a little bit and show you how to get this installed now. To begin your installation, you're going to be underneath the back of your truck on the driver's side, and it definitely helps if you temporarily lower or remove your spare tire. Just gives you a lot more room to work, so I've done that. But we need to locate our factory connector plug, which is this one right here, kind of sitting on top of this cross member. And we'll go ahead and unplug our existing stock damaged harness. So that's what it looks like. And what you want to do, there's a little tab, and it kind of helps, honestly, when this is already plugged in. If you push it tighter together, push down on that tab real hard, and then pull the two apart. That's how you separate them. We're able to grab our new harness now, and this is just going to tee in between the two existing connectors. So one end, plug in there. The other end will plug into this side, just like that. We're going to have a white wire with the pre-attached ring terminal. We're going to have to ground that to a clean piece of metal. I'm just going to go right here, and using the provided self-tapping screw, we'll run that down into place. Now that we're all plugged in underneath, before we actually start to route this, we need to know where we want to mount up our 7-way connector. And so I picked up a bracket. This doesn't come included with the kit. You can grab one here at Etrailer though. And I think I'm just going to mount ours up kind of right here where our existing 4-way bracket was. And so I marked a couple holes here in this cross beam. And with this being pretty thick steel, I'm going to pre-drill some smaller holes here beforehand. I got these holes pre-drilled, and I'm going to secure the bracket with just a couple of self-tapping screws. Take it easy when you're running these in too, because they're easy to break. So, I like to just kind of feather them in and not just run them down full blast right off the bat. We'll take our connector in, run it through our bracket, and I'm just going to put a little bit of dielectric grease around the terminals. This will just help protect against corrosion and prevent moisture and stuff from getting inside of there. We'll take our 7-way though, get that plugged in, just snaps into place. I'll go ahead and get this mounted up. At this point, you can use a couple of the zip ties, bundle up your extra wiring and zip tie it up out of the way. With everything done now, it's a good idea to check your wiring to make sure that it's all working properly. I like to use a tester like this as opposed to just hooking up to a trailer. And I say it because if the trailer happens to have any issues, it might mislead you, thinking it's something you did wrong on the vehicle side. But with that in mind, we'll try our tail lights, our left turn, our right turn. We'll hit our brakes. I'm going to step on the brake and put it in reverse. And if you have a brake controller, you could test that function as well. We do not have one installed just yet. And with the 12-volt auxiliary power, what I found with these Fords, they usually just don't put power out unless there's a draw, unless there's an accessory demanding that from it, and the truck is moving. There's a certain parameters where the truck will actually send that power to the back. So that's why that's not illuminating. So if you see that happening on yours, won't be too alarmed until you get to towing, and if you run into any issues then you kind of go from there. But that's just my experience as far as that auxiliary power goes. Now that we know everything works, you can put your spare tire back into position if you did indeed remove it. And with all that done, that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Curt 7-way vehicle wiring harness on our 2017 Ford F-150.